Hi everyone! If you've been here for a while, you probably recognize my voice. You probably recognize my face. Most of the real talks on this channel are narrated. You see moments from my daily life. You hear the thoughts in the background. But today, I gonna do different way. I am here as myself, as the creator, as the host, and as the speaker behind this channel. I am the one who plans these real talks. I am the one who chooses the topics that people avoid. And I am the one who believes that honest conversations matter most than perfect opinions. And now I choose one topic because I've been noticing. And lately, the bashing has been loud. Filipina being labeled, Filipinas being reduced to stereotypes, Filipinas being discussed like a trend instead of women with real lives. And what caught my attention is this. Criticism is loud, but the reality hasn't changed. That despite all the bashing, Filipinas are still chosen globally. Interesting? So instead of reacting emotionally, let's talk about why that contradictions exist. Stay put because we're gonna talk real talk. So now, the contradiction people don't want to explain. Here's the part that no one likes to address properly. If Filipinas were truly what critics say, submissive, desperate, transactional, dependent, interest would have faded long time ago. But it didn't. In fact, it continues across different countries, different cultures, different generations. That consistency matters. Patterns don't lie, opinions do. And so here comes the internet lie versus the real life. You know, the internet loves exaggeration, whereas real life is more quieter and more practical. Online, people argue in the comments. Offline, people choose partners. Foreign men don't choose wives based on viral takes. They choose based on how they feel daily living with someone. It's the gap between online narrations, between real world decisions. So what really foreign men experience? When you talk foreign men privately, not in the comments, they often say similar things. They talk about feeling emotionally welcome, feeling respected, feeling valued, not competed with, not controlled, not perfection, just emotionally ease. And that doesn't mean they're weak, they're human. And emotional safety is attractive everywhere in the world. And now jumping to cultural warmth, misread as weakness. You know, a big part of the bashing comes from the misunderstanding of Filipino culture. In any Western culture, directness is strength. In Filipino culture, connection is strength. Kindness gets mistaken for desperation. Softness gets mistaken for submission. And family orientation gets mistaken for dependency. Cultural difference is not inferiority, it's just a different emotional language. And here's something rarely said, that many Filipinas are emotionally bilingual. They know how to navigate different communication styles, different expectations, different emotional rhythms. They can adjust without losing empathy when the relationship is healthy. The ability to bridge culture is not accidental. It's learned through experience, family, and survival. And globally, that adaptability matters more than people admit. And now the biggest question is, why global choice attract criticism? Let's be honest. When a group of women consistently chosen across board, they become a target for criticism. And not because they are wrong, but because visibility invites judgment. And criticism often follows desirability. And that's not arrogance, that's social reality. And so let me say this clearly, because balance matters. And this does not mean that all Filipino foreigners' relationships are healthy. It does not mean all foreigners have good intentions. And it does not mean that all Filipinas should tolerate imbalance and abuse. There are power dynamics. There are real harms. There are stories that don't end well. And I talk about those too openly. Truth without balance becomes propaganda. And this channel is not. So here's the question critics rarely answer. If Filipinas were only choosing money or passports, why do many stay even when they already have stability? Why do many relationships continue quietly, without showing off, and without proving anything online? Because real relationship doesn't need constant explanation. You don't need to defend Filipinas. You don't need to argue with strangers online. Reality speaks for itself. Slowly, quietly, consistently. And this channel exists to talk what is something real and not what's trending. And now you know who's behind the voice, who's behind the script, who's behind those old narrations, and why these topics matter, and why real talk's always honest, even when it's uncomfortable. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, this is JM Roots and Real Talk. God bless you all and mabuhay!